So anybody who's following me for any amount of time knows that my everyday carry is my A7C, and on that A7C I have attached my 20 millimeter G lens 1.8. But also, if you've been following me for a while, you know that I recently bought the 24 millimeter f1.4 G Master, and I told you guys that I wanted to get to the bottom of why everyone loves this lens so much. I've been shooting with it for a while now. I've done a number of things, and I think I figured it out. And in this video, we're going to talk about what those things are, and I'm going to let you guys know why I think that this might be my new everyday carry for my everyday carry kit. Let's get into it. Guys, this is one of my favorite places. This is one of my favorite things about working where I work. This is just on the outside of the warehouse that I work in. And we've talked about this before on my YouTube, not my YouTube, on my Instagram channel, but we get some of the best sunsets here in Buffalo Grove. But anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about today. So reason number one that I think I'm going to change to this 24 millimeter is just because of the extra stop. I don't know if it's an extra stop, but the difference between the 1.8 and the 1.4, I'm not going to overblow this. I know that there's a lot of people who might say, like, you can't really tell the difference between 1.4 and 1.8, and that's true. There's a lot of people who won't be able to tell that difference, but I can tell that difference, and I bet that there's a lot of other photographers and videographers who can tell that difference. And most importantly, I think that we've talked about this a number of times here on my channel. I'm someone who likes to go out and film a lot at night, and you don't know that you need that extra light until you need that extra light. And so the difference between 1.4 and 1.8 is the difference between a little bit of noise and a lot of bit of noise. And that's really important to me when I'm creating photos, when I'm out creating videos. So reason number one, 1.4 versus 1.8, I need that extra light. It turns out that that is a corn farm, and I have worked here for 12 years, and I had no idea that they were growing and harvesting corn over there. I saw the tractor out there today planting corn seeds, and I was just like, holy shit. The second reason that I think I'm going to switch over to this 24 millimeter, I think I've made the choice. It's just that I feel like the 24 millimeter just has a look. Like a better look than the 20 millimeter. You guys have heard me talk about this before when I was talking about the 85, is that some lenses just have character to them, like a lens character. You hear people talk about it a lot with the Noctilux, the 50 millimeter Noctilux, and just how legendary that lens is and how people are still talking about it now. You also hear people talk about it when they're talking about vintage lenses. I believe that this lens is going to be one of those lenses that we're still talking about 20 or 30 years from now, that people are trying to get their hands on. It just has a really good look. And a lot of people asked me in the last video if I didn't think that I could get this look with the 20 millimeter. I'm going to switch over to the 20 millimeter, and you guys are going to notice three things really quickly. All right, so I'm gonna switch to the 20, and then we'll talk about it. All right, so here we are on the 20 millimeter, and the first thing that you guys probably notice is that it's a lot wider than I think you guys realize the 24 millimeter is. You guys can see the light up here. You can see more of the ceiling. You can see like the crossbar that the light is magnetically affixed to. You can see more out here. The second thing that you guys probably realize is that I'm further away. The distortion is crazy. Look how long my arms are once I get them out to the edge here. Now, I already have freakishly long arms, but I don't want them to look this way in videos. And so, one of the things that people ask is like, couldn't you just move, the camera closer, to you to create the same, field of focus, or field of view? But you got to remember about the distortion of my face. As I move, the lens closer to my face gets thinner, it gets more distorted, and then you guys are seeing a lot of nose, and it's already a lot of nose. Trust me, you don't want to see it that close to this lens to be able to get the same field of view that we get with the 24 millimeter. So I would show you, but you guys just got to trust me. It gets weird. And then the last thing that you guys would have noticed is that I lost light, and like that's the thing. I lost light. I lost some of the bokeh in the background, and so this doesn't give me the look that I want without having to sacrifice a bunch of things. Nose, light. It's just not a good look. Like the bokeh back here, the fall off of the highlights. There's just something about this lens that I love. I love the look of it, and I've seen it in these talking heads, this vlogging. I didn't go out and test it out myself when this lens first came out. I let people convince me that I couldn't use this lens for vlogging, and now look at us. Look at where we are now, vlogging. So one of the reasons that I didn't buy actually probably the biggest reason that I didn't buy the 24 millimeter when it came out is because I was, led to believe that 24 millimeters was too tight to vlog with. And, when thinking about why I would need a wide angle lens, vlogging was the number one reason. Because I don't shoot, at the time as a photographer, I didn't shoot a lot of very wide angle portraits. And so the 24 millimeter just didn't seem like it would be a good lens for me to go out and buy, especially with the 20 millimeter G lens being significantly, more affordable. So this is what the field of view looks like at 20 millimeters. This is about how I would use this lens, if I were out vlogging about this far, to get, this much background, in the scene. So let's switch over to the 24 millimeter G Master and see, just how much I would have to change, my arm length, how much more I would have to hold the camera away to be able to get this field of view, or if I'm just satisfied with, the 24 millimeter as is. All right, and so here we are on the 24 millimeter at 1.4 with my arm about or almost in the same place as it was on the 20 millimeter. This is the field of view that you get with the 24 millimeter, and I don't know that there is a significant difference in the amount of background that we see. I think that this 24 millimeter would work fine as an everyday vlogging lens. And then, if I feel like I need more, I need to capture more of what's going on in the background, I could always extend that arm, because your boy's got some pretty long arms, and be able to get, as much background as I needed. So yeah, I think that I could comfortably make this 24 millimeter the old everyday carry. All right, you guys, I think that is where I want to end this video. I think we should probably talk about some specs or whatever, or build quality. If you own, let's say, a 35 millimeter G Master, assume that this 24 millimeter is going to be built exactly the same it is going to focus exactly the same. It's going to perform exactly the same. So it comes with all of the bells and whistles that you would expect from a G Master lens. The only thing that I would say is I don't think that it focuses as fast as my 50 millimeter 1.2, but I think that it does focus as fast as the 1.4 with those dual linear focusing motors. And so I got a question about whether I thought the age of the lens would be a problem. It hasn't been. It has been phenomenal. The second question that I got was if I had a link to where I bought it. I don't. I bought it from a rental house that closed down. Actually, it didn't close down. It got bought by another rental house. So it's either lens rentals bought borrow lenses or borrow lenses bought lens rentals, and I got it from one of those. I got it from one of those two places for insanely cheap. So, and I will say that a lot of my opinion of this lens does factor into the fact that I got it for so cheap. But don't let that take away from the fact that it is a phenomenal, phenomenal lens. Everything in this video was filmed on the A7 IV with the 24 millimeter, except the times that I switched over to the 20 millimeter. And then, as always, this wasn't sponsored in any way by anyone. Everything that I used in this video was paid for by your boy. And I think that's it. If you guys have any other questions about this lens, about how it performs, any questions at all, let's talk about it down in the comments. And yeah, 24 millimeter G Master. I guess the only question is whether or not I'm going to sell my 20 millimeter 1.8. But I think that's for another day. So this is where I'll leave you guys. I'm Jamil. This is a boy named Jamil. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace. I mean, look at this shot. Look how good it looks. It's so good. I just took this shirt out of the wash. And it's still dirty. I don't know what's going on.